Friends, good morning. I'm reading 30 minutes. Please you check my video. I'm reading in the correctly. You're wrong. You're pronouncing it correctly. You're wrong. Please you commit and you suggest and you like and you subscribe my channel because I'm, I want very young, and I want to improve every communication and every skills and because I want to make it confidence, right? When I said that the voice it's sounded as the true it was in the room and Vera cried and who was it Uh, it wasn't the one of us and like the judge and Lombard and eyes and the wondered and the slowly and the round the room and they rested a minute of the open the windows and then and he shook his and the head and the visibly and suddenly and his eyes and the lighted and up and he moved and the forward and the swiftly to and where and the door and the near the fireplace and the led into the adjoining and the rooms with the swift and the gesture he caught the handle right and the palang palang the door the open and he passed and through the immediately and uttered and the exclamation to satisfaction and satisfaction that he said and ah here we are and the other and the crowded and the after him and only miss and the parent and the reminded and along the sitting and the erect in her and the chair in her and the chair and inside the second and the table had been and the bout up and the up close to the wall and the which and the adjoining the drawing and the rooms uh, on the table was in the gramophones and the old and the function the types type with the large and the well and the lombard and the pushing it aside and the indicates and the where and two and three and the small and the holes have been in the uh, unobtrustably and bored and through the wall adjusting and the gramophones and he replaced the needle on the recorded and immediately they heard again you are charged and with the following and the in this and where the cry turn 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 it off the it's and the horrible and Lombard and the obeyed and Lombard and the obeyed and the doctor doctor in the Armstrong's and said and with a high to relief and the disgraceful and the heartless and the practical and the joy I suppose is small and the clear the voice and the Mr. Justice Vargo and the murmured and the so you think and it's and the joke and the do you the doctor and the started at him and what else and the could it be and your hand of the judge and the gently and the stocked his and the upper and the lip and the he said and after the moment I am preparing to give of the opinion and the Anthony and the Mastons and the broke and the in and he said and he said and look and the here and there one the things and the you have and the forgotten and the who the devil and the turn it and the things and on her and the set in the going wargu and the murmured and yes I think and we must and inquire into the that and he led way and the back into the drawing and the room and the other the followed and the Rogers and the had just and come with a glass of the brandy the Mrs. Barrett was in the branding the bending and the over the morning and the forms the Mrs. and the Rogers and the adroitly and the Rogers and the slipped and the between two women and allow me and the madam I will speak to her and I will speak to her and the Ethel it's all right and do you hear and the pull and the yourself and the together pull and the yourself and the together Mr. Roger and the breathe and the came in the quick the gaps and the, her eyes and her eyes staring and frightened and eyes and went around and around the ring of the faces. There was in the urgency is the Rogers and Ton and the Pool and yourself and together and the Ethel and the Dr. Armstrongs and spoke to her and the smooth soothingly, you will be all right, you will be all right. And then now and the Mr. Roger and the just a nasi and a turn and the she said, did, did I pant in the sun? Yes, it was the voice and that is the awful and the voice and like a judgment at the her face and the turned and the green and the again her and eyelid the fluted and Dr. Armstrong and said the sharply and where is that is the brandy, that is the brandy, where is that brandy? The Rogers and the head put is the down and on the little and table and put is the down and the little on the table. Someone and the hundred in it to the doctor and he bent and over the gasping and the woman and the with it and the drink and the thirst. Mr. Rose, Mrs. and the Rogers, see and drank and the choking a little and grasping and the spirit and did her and the good and the color and the returned to her and the face and she said and I'm all the right and I'm all the right and the it's just gave me a turn and the Rogers and with the cell said and the quickly and of course it did and it gave me a turn and to the fair uncle fair maid and me and the doors and the try and that is the try and the wickets and the lights and it was and the I did and the like to I did to like to know and to know and he was in the interpreted and it was the only a cup and a dry little and another cup and the but a dry little and a cup and the but it had the effect of the stopping and the him to fully and full and cry and he started at Mr. Justin Vargu and the letter and the cup and again then and he said and the who put on that and the who put on the record on the gramophones and watch it you and the Rogers and cried I little and I didn't know and where I didn't know and what it was and before the God what it was and before and the God I didn't know and what is was and sir and if I had and the labor and the have and done and it I judges and said and dryly and this is the probably and true but I think and you did and better and explain and the Roger the better and the weapon and his face and with a handkerchief and it he said and the earnestly right I was in the just and the obeying and the order and the sir that's all huge and the order and the Mrs. Bowman and Mr. Justin Wargo and said and let me get and this and quiet and clear and the Miss Bowman omens and the orders and where the what exactly and Rogers and said I was to put up the record on the gramophone and I did find the record in the drawer and my wife and was started the gramophone and when I did and gone I did gone to into the drawing room and with the coffee and tray and I judged and murmured and a very and remarkable and story and the Roger and the cried and it is the true and sir it is the true and sir I sure and to God and it is the true I didn't know and what it was and not for the moment and it had a name on it and I threw it was just a piece of the music in the Vargo and looked and listening and at the Lombard and was there a little was a title on it and the Lombard and nodded and he grinned and suddenly showed and his white and the pointed and the teeth, and he said, and quiet, 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 and right, and the sir, and I was in the and entitled and swung and song General Markuthur and broke and out and suddenly and he exclaimed, he whole things a professor and the slanging and the accusation and about the like and this and the something and the must be and done about it and this follow on and the who ever and the he is the Emily and the variant and the interpreted and the C interpreted and the C said and the sharply that's it just it who is he and he just interposted and he spoke with the authority that is a lifetime in the courses and the lifetime in the courses the had the given the him and he had he said and the that's it the exactly and the when the what he we and we must go and into the very and the carefully I should and suggested that you get and the our get and your and the wife to bed and the first of all the Roger and then and the come back and the here yes sir I Mr. Dr. Armstrong and said I will give you and I will give you a hand Rogers and learning on the two men and the Mr. Roger to trade out of the rooms when they and they had gone when they had the gone and Tony and the master and said don't know and about you sir and but I could do with a drink and Longwarden said I agree and Tony and said I will go and forage he went out of the room out of the room right went out of the room out of the room and just and got a letter got a letter mila bhai got a letter and from the fellow and the Owen and the mentioned it and the some old and the palace of mine and the who were to what to be and the here and the hoped I do and sorry I do well, I did an exercise I do and excuse and the informal and the invitation the haven't haven't in the keep the letter and the I'm afraid and Vargo and said Mr. Lombarded and Lombarded the brain had been active and was and he too and come out in the open and not he made up his the mind same sort in the sort of the things he said in invitation and mentioned of the mutual friend I fail for it all the right and I have and the torn up the letter and the Mr. Justice Vargo and turned it and his attention to and Mr. Blore and his and the forefinger and the stocket and his upper lip and his voice was dangerously and polite and he said just now he had a somewhat and the disturbing and experience and apparently and the this same body voice and the spoke to us and the all by and the name and the uttering and the certain and the prescribe and the accusation and the against us we will and deal with those and the minor and the point the amongst and the name and the reacted and the was that is the billions and the very handy blow but as far as and the we know and that is no one and the named and the blow and the amongst us the name of the Davis was it not and the mention it what have said to say what have you to say and about that and the Mr. Davis blower and said and the sulkily cuts out of the bag and it seemed and supposed I will do better and admit and no look that is my and the name it isn't and the you बीच में मत कर रहा हूँ तो you are the winning and the unique and the Henry and the blower and the that's in the right and I will the did and I will add and something and set and the lawn word or not only I'm reading and are you and the here and under the false name and the Mr. Bolero and but in the addition and I have noticed and the evening and that you are first and the first class and the liar and you claim you to have came from Natal, South Africa. I know and the South Africa and Natal and I am prepared to swear and that you have and never set and the foot of the South Africa in your life. All eyes and were and turned turned of the Bolero is angry and suspicious, and the eyes and the Anthony and the Marston moved to step the nearby, nearer and to him, and the first and clenched and themselves, and now them your swine. And he said, and any explanation, and the blower and the flunks back his and the head and the set of the square jaw, and you gentlemen and the have got gentlemen have got me you gentlemen got help me, and wrong. And he said, I have the got my and the credential, and you can see and them, and I am in the X and the CID and man, and I run and the detective and the agency of the play mouth, and I was put on the job, and Mr. Justice Vargo asked the Mr. Home, this man and the woman and the enclosed in the handsome and the money and the order for the expenses in the, and instructed me so what he wanted and done. I was to join the our party, and pushing as a guest, and I was giving, and I was giving all your and the names, and I was to watch you all. I was to watch you all in the any region, and the given blower and the said and the bitterly, Mr. Omen and Julius and Mrs. Omen, Wayne and my foods, and I don't believe there any such kind of person, any such person. And again the forefinger and for the judges and the stockade his lip, and that is the mind and the epicity epicity, and your conclusion are, I think I justify. And he said, and the Unlick and the Norman and the Owen in the Mrs. Barrett and the letter, and through the signature of the surname of the mayor and the swell, the Christian name are reasonably and clear, and Una, Nancy, and in other cases you notice the same initial, right? Guys, please you watch my video. If I any mistake and doing the reading books, any pronouncing, any spelling mistake, and my voice, please you commit and you like and you subscribe and forward. Just if you commit me, and then I will be improved daily. First day, today is first reading books. Thank you guys. Please like.